You've been spending a lot of time out and about, including beyond the borders of this country. What's that been about? What have you been up to?
We're probably doing about 2% of the world's research in grains. We know 6 major biotech companies are spending something like $5 billion a year on R&D. And it's really important that we know what's happening out there and we're identifying early technologies that might be relevant to Australian growers. So over the last month, I've been overseas with our chairman, Keith Perrott, looking at some of those companies and some of the technologies they potentially have that might be of interest to Australian growers.
Exciting stuff happening in Europe while you were there?
And a lot of these companies are looking at expanding their marketplace by investing in developing better wheat, traits for wheat, and that's pretty exciting for Australia, I think. But I guess if we're going to succeed, we need to make sure our growers get early access to those technologies.
What did you achieve, do you think, in terms of getting early access to those technologies?
Well, at this stage, the trip was very much preliminary. It was very much about making people aware of who GRDC is and making people aware that we do have a viable marketplace here for those technologies. So at the moment, that was the key reason for going there, and I think we achieved that very satisfactorily.
You've just released GRDC's 5-year strategic plan, and it's something of a culmination of the last 18 months. What does it signify?
It's a very important milestone. I mean, it really is setting the direction for the corporation for the next 5 years, and obviously that's important. And I guess the key thing, or the drivers in that 5-year plan, are that we want the investment growers making the GRDC levy to be the best investment that they make. We want to make sure that we really are focusing the investment on the things that are going to make the biggest difference for Australian grain growers. To summarise, focus on the things that make the biggest difference, and delivery into each of the regions, connecting globally. Those are the key things I think that will make us successful.
Are you glad to be out of that intensive planning phase and into a phase where you can really roll up your sleeves?
Look, it has been fairly intense, and it's been intense for a couple of reasons. We've been through that process of actually developing up the 5-year strategy, and there's a lot of work from everybody within GRDC into that process, but we've also been preparing by making some structural changes within GRDC so that we can deliver that 5-year plan. So we've now gone, for example, from 6 business groups, we've only gone down to 4 business groups, so we've gone from 6 executive managers to 4. And that's again about trying to get focus into the key things that are going to be important for the next 5-year period.
It's very important to you, I know, to communicate what GRDC is all about and its directions. The next few months is going to give you plenty of opportunity to do that?
Absolutely, and of course we've got all the spring tours, regional panels on their spring tours will be out there talking to growers. Again, as I say, I'm keen to actually bring GRDC closer to growers, make sure that connection's really strong, because that's why we exist. The only reason we exist is to deliver value to Australian grain growers.
Finally, today, you and the GRDC board are here at the I.A.Watson Research Centre in Narrabri, University of Sydney. What does this signify about the way GRDC will operate into the future?
I guess over the last couple of years we've been developing up with our partners a national RD&E strategy, and that really comes out of the fact that resources for R&D are limited, can't afford duplication or fragmentation of the investment. So we've been looking at where we need key facilities, and it's really clear that Narrabri and the I.A.Watson Research Centre in particular is a key facility for Australian research. It's right in the middle of the grains belt for the northern region. It's on the right soil type, it's got water, and so when we're looking at developing some of our pre-reading and developing traits, it's the right spot.
So you see GRDC's project investment here as very strategic?
It's absolutely a strategic investment. It's for the long term. We are hoping that we're ensuring that this becomes a hub for research for the northern region. Very much focused on the winter cereals, but delivering right through for the northern region.
John, as always, good to talk to you. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks.